Have you ever wondered how we go from a big, messy question to a clear, data-driven answer? Well, today, we're going to break down the step-by-step methodology that data scientists use to solve problems exactly like that. All right, let's get into it. Think about it. You type in, say, rice, wasabi, and fish, and bam, an app suggests Japanese cuisine. It feels like magic, right? But I promise you, it's not. It's actually a very structured process, a journey from a simple question to a really powerful prediction. So to make this all real, we're going to follow along with a developer, inspired by the work of Pavan Sankar, who wanted to build an app, let's call it a cuisine finder. The goal? To identify a cuisine based only on its ingredients. This is going to be our mission for the next few minutes. Okay, so where do you even start with something like this? Well, in data science, the first step is always about nailing down what you're actually trying to achieve. Before you even dream of touching a line of code or looking at a spreadsheet, you've got to figure out the why. This stage has a name, business understanding. And it's really just a straightforward idea. Know your goal. What's the real problem we're trying to solve here? And this is it. This is our specific answerable question. See? It's not some big, fuzzy idea. It's super clear and focused. We want to take ingredients and get a cuisine. Boom. Just like that, our journey has a destination. All right, so we know where we're going, but how do we actually get there? You can't just wander into the data wilderness hoping for the best. You need a map. And luckily for us, there's a really good one. And here it is. This is going to be our roadmap for this whole thing. The data science methodology. And you'll notice it's a loop. And that's totally on purpose. It's basically a framework that guides a project from that first spark of an idea all the way to a finished product and way beyond. Okay, step 2 on our map, choosing the right analytic approach. Now, this is all about deciding how you're going to use your data to get an answer. Are we looking backward to describe something, or are we trying to look forward and predict what might happen? You can think of it like this. There are kind of 4 main flavors of analytics. Descriptive is just, hey, what happened? Diagnostic digs a little deeper. Okay, but why did it happen? Predictive, now this is where it gets really cool. That's all about what's going to happen next. And then prescriptive is like the final step. All right, so what should we do about it? So for our Cuisine Finder app, which one do we need? Well, we want our app to predict the cuisine for a brand new dish, right? That is textbook predictive analytics. We're asking the data, if we mix these things, what cuisine will it be? We've officially picked our path on the map. We're going the predictive route. Okay, we have our question, we have our approach, the plan is set. Now for the fun part. Time to roll up our sleeves and actually build this thing. This is where we turn raw information into a smart working system. Think of this build phase in 3 main chunks. First, you need your ingredients. That's data requirements and collection. For us, that means getting our hands on thousands of recipes. Next up, you got to prep those ingredients. That's data understanding and preparation. You know, the washing, the chopping, getting all that messy data ready to use. And finally, the actual cooking, modeling. This is where we build the brain of our app. And I can't stress this enough. That prep step is everything. Seriously, people say data scientists spend like 80% of their time just cleaning data, and they are not kidding. Raw data is always a mess. You have to fix errors, deal with missing stuff. This is also where you do something called feature engineering, which is just a fancy way of saying you get creative and make new useful data from what you already have. So for our app, instead of a huge list of ingredients, we could just create a simple yes or no for contains rice. Little tricks like that, they make a huge difference. So let's say we've done all that. We've built the brain, it's all trained up. But here's the million-dollar question. Did it actually work? Is it any good? Time for a good old-fashioned reality check. So how do you test it? Well, you definitely can't test it on the same data you trained it with. That's just cheating, right? It's like giving a student the exam questions before the test. So what you do is you split your data. You use most of it to teach the model. That's your training set. But you keep a little bit separate, the test set, to see how it does on stuff it's never seen before. A really cool tool for this is called a confusion matrix. And don't let the name scare you, it's super simple. It just shows you what the model got right and where it got, well, confused. You can see at a glance exactly where it's winning and where it's messing up. And from that matrix, you can calculate all sorts of scores. But the easiest one to understand is just accuracy. It's exactly what it sounds like. What percentage of the time did the model get the right answer? Super simple, but super powerful. So, what did we get? Let's say we run our cuisine finder on that test data, and boom, 85% accuracy. What does that mean? It means out of every 100 new dishes we showed it, it got 85 of them right. Hey, not bad for a first shot, right? We've got a solid number to work with.
All right, 85%, we have a model that works. We're done, right? Pack it up, go home. Well, not quite. The final steps are all about getting this thing out into the real world and, you guessed it, making it even better.
Next up is deployment. This is where the magic really happens. It's the step where our model stops being just some code on a laptop and becomes a real feature in an app that actual people can use. And once it's live, the work still isn't over. In fact, the learning just kicks into high gear. Now we get real feedback from real users. Do they like the suggestions? Is the app constantly mixing up Spanish and Mexican food? That kind of feedback is absolute gold. And that brings us, you guessed it, right back to the beginning of our map. See? All that feedback gets plugged right back into the start of the process. It helps us ask better questions and build an even better model next time. It's not a one-and-done deal. It's a constant loop of getting better and better. So there it is, the roadmap that takes you from a fuzzy question to a real working data-powered answer. And the best part is, you can use this framework for pretty much any problem you can think of, which really just leaves one last question. Now that you have the map, what question are you going to answer?